Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the North Country Farm. I'm going to take you guys on a little tour real quick, show you what we're working on today. But first, we're going to stop by the piglets. So guys, here's my chute. It's not done. It's obviously dirty. I've got feed stored in the chute because I'm feeding right here. And it just makes it easy to have their feed right here. Dump it in. Boom, boom. Good, good. Here's Mama. Guys, here's our recent additions to the farm. All these little piglets. You can see our little bandaged up buddy there. She's recovering well. She's doing good. That bandage could probably come off. That wound looks pretty good, but we're just keeping it on just to be sure. Bug flap my nose. These little guys are becoming a problem. They're getting big and they're starting to move stuff around, but you can see they're starting to put on some real good size. But they're starting to tunnel under the fence right at the gate. And they're getting over and trying to feed off Merlot. And Merlot is sort of allowing them to do it, and I don't know why. Just a good mama, I guess, but these guys are obviously getting plenty of feed and they're trying to just get over there and get some milk from Mom. You can see we've added some tree branches in here to sort of start introducing them into feeding off the natural stuff, and I'll show you why here in a minute. They don't need some sort of easement onto it. We just happen to be trimming stuff off and throwing it to them just to help them with growth and give them more food to kind of snack on throughout. All these piglets got castrated yesterday. Well, at least the boys did. They got castrated yesterday, and it was quite the process. It was our first time doing it. But it went well. No, feeding time. Mom, come on, lay back down. I think sometimes they irritate Mama, so Mama says get away. But she's doing a great job. She's been very careful with them. She's been feeding them. They're all putting on size well. We feel good about the piglets. But I'm coming out here to show you guys this. So coming down the chute, we've got pasture out here that we're putting them in, and I've got a fence that I'm working on, and that's what I wanted to show you guys. So what we're going to wind up doing is having it set up to where they can get into the chute. We let them out the gate, put them in the chute, and send them out this way. And then when they get out here, they're able to just kind of free range graze out here as much as they want, exist out here as much as they want. And what they'll wind up doing is just eating everything out here and working on it. But I'm going to show you guys this fence that I'm working on. It's just a natural fence with all of the stuff that we've cut down. And a lot of this stuff is dead wood, or it's too thick in here and it needs to get thinned out a little bit to promote more of a healthy forest. But all we're doing, as you can see, is just creating a fence. And I've got it worked out to where some of these gaps are a little big and they're going to need to get filled. Like this is too big of a gap right here. So I'll have to come back in and put one more down there, which is just kind of what we're working on today, is getting this thing completely buttoned up the rest of the way so these guys can get out here. They're going to have all this area out here to come out and eat all this natural foraging, and that is going to, one, save us a ton on feed bill. The other benefit is that the natural stuff that's out here, the grass, the roots, the pine nuts, all of that stuff that is out here that is natural feed gives their meat such a great taste. And it's a taste you don't get from grass-fed. It's a taste you don't get from grain-fed. There's something out in here that just changes the way that their meat tastes, and it tastes so much better. And every year we've done this with our animals, with our pigs, we've stuck them into a woodlot, and every year we get more clients, and everyone seems to be very happy with the pork that we produce. We are very happy with the pork that we produce. Some of the the grain costs more because it is non-GMO grain, which our clients appreciate, which we appreciate. The grass that we get is also organic grass, non-GMO grass, and that's not easy to find because most farmers around here spray their grass or put down some sort of chemical fertilizer or something. So it's not real easy to find. It's kind of hard to come by, and it's a little more expensive. It's not the cheapest grass that I can find, but we pay a little more because we like the quality that it produces. This year, the grass that we have that we'll use for supplemental feeding, on top of everything else that we're doing, the farmer uses a fish byproduct paste. So I'm not really sure what that entails. I believe it's just ground up fish, like the leftover fish, probably from some sort of a product source. I'm not really sure, but he uses that as a natural fertilizer, which is great, and the stuff actually has like a fishy oil smell. So I'm sure you can imagine the benefits of pigs getting plenty of fish oil on top of just being a natural fertilizer and growing a great grass, a very nutrient rich grass. But we use that too. So our pigs are totally non-GMO, completely organic fed, which costs more, which we like. Alright guys, so that's the fence. There's a few parts here that need a little something. Some of the stuff is dried and broke, which is fine. We're just going to come through and button this up. The biggest issue is these bottom sections where they can just slip out and go. So that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to work on finishing this thing up, but I wanted to show you guys what we've done. Basically, there's posts driven. These ones need verticals. So I'll add these verticals right here, either because of a big gap in the bottom and it needs to help close it off, but it just ties this fence together as one big structure, and it'll stop them from flexing these and just going through. Now this fence is also designed for them to get a little bit bigger. If I put them out right now, they would just slip right through the holes and be everywhere. So we're hoping to get them out here soon, but I want to come out here and minimize the gaps so that we can get them out here sooner, so they can get out here foraging and do what they need to do. But we're going to get to work on this fence, and I'll just show you guys the process of this fence. They've been helping me with this fence for the majority of it, and I've got them out here just kind of getting them used to different tools. Pretty simple tools, really. Just a pair of loppers. I got Deegan on a handsaw. McKinley was helping me hold it and stuff, and then helping drill. So we're learning just a few basic hand tools, pretty simple ones. But they're getting the idea of building, the concepts of building and understanding, structure, how to get certain things to support other things to make something, a stiffer, more reliable piece, one piece, tying a bunch of pieces together to make one piece that suits your purpose. So they're just learning the basics and the principles of building and what it takes to, build a structure that's going to keep pigs in. Alright guys, so once we get a tree lopped up, we're going to carry it over, put it in place. I missed a couple. So this piece is obviously very big. We're going to put it into place, and then we're going to trim off one end, and we're going to reuse the other piece. All right, hey guys, sorry about that. The card got full, so I had to run inside real quick and delete everything off of the card, make room for some more memory. I was able to grab a bite to eat though while we're doing it, so got a little breakfast in me. But we're back to it. I wound up getting this last piece up. What we have going on is I'm naturally winding this fence through here, and I'm just kind of letting it take its own road. What I'm doing is clearing the branches to my next piece. So my next one's going to be that tree there, and what'll happen is I'll wind up coming back and just cutting the tops off of these trees. I'll wind up cutting the tops off just like the rest of them. I'll wind up going back through and making them all look about the same because I like them to look somewhat even. But this fence is not square, it's not straight, it's not round. It's just doing its own thing and winding through here. And I'm just trying to make it big enough to accommodate the pigs and allow them to just run around in a nice little area. But what I'm doing is just trimming up all my branches. Like I said, I will be cutting these off, but on the branches or the trees that I'm not cutting off, I'm going through and I'm trimming these branches as well. And what that's going to do is allow me to walk my fence and check it and make sure that if anything needs to be repaired, I can repair it and I can get to it. I'm not fighting all these branches. The second thing that it does, as you can see, is it's going to allow light to come down through here. A lot of this jack pine is just so thick in here, and it's unhealthy when it's thick like that. It needs to be thinned out so that it can promote growth. And what happens is you get these just long, thin dudes, you know, and these little branches that grow, and it's just unhealthy. It doesn't have the ability to grow. It only grows straight up. It doesn't grow out. So having all of this, having all these trees right next to each other, it sort of chokes off. They choke off each other, really, and then they're just constantly fighting to try and grow, but they don't grow well. So really what we should be doing, you know, is thinning them out. Like even this one here with that one there is probably too close. You know, that's within 5 feet, so it's probably still too close. These need to get thinned out some, but I want it to be shaded because during the hot summertime, pigs won't eat as much, and if they're just struggling to stay cool, they don't eat and they don't put on weight, and if they don't put on weight, it slows them down to their butcher date, which winds up costing us more money. So there's a balance here that I gotta hit. I gotta thin it out to produce or to promote growth of the underbrush as well. We want this grass down here to grow. We're gonna wind up, after they plow all this up, we're gonna wind up throwing grass in here, throwing some seed and allowing a new kind of grass to grow up. But all this natural stuff that's in here, we want it to grow, and it needs sunlight to grow, which means all this thick stuff that's stopping the sun from coming through here needs to get trimmed while still maintaining shade and keeping it cool. It's much cooler in here than it is just outside where they're at right now, because they've just got that direct sunlight, and this is trapping or insulating in those colder thermals that take place in the morning. So that's what we've got going on. I'm going to show you guys what we're doing to get wood. So all around in here, there's plenty of stuff that needs to be thinned out. You can see there's just tons in here, and it needs to be thinned out, and it's very easy to go through and just thin out the dead ones already. So this one, you can see the bark. You can see how all the bark is taken off of it. You can see how the needles are brown up there. They're obviously dead. And what this is beetle pine. So these pine beetles have been in here. They get inside the wood. They lay their eggs. They kill the wood. And then the bark falls off and it's sick looking wood. That stuff will actually spread. Beetles will actually spread. Once they get into a tree, they'll kill it and they'll move on to the next one. So you kind of got to chase the problem. You also have to get ahead of the problem. Unfortunately, by the time you see this taking place, the beetles have already jumped to the next tree, and they're off destroying the next tree. And I'll see a lot of this stuff when I'm cutting it, I'll get a lot of worms in it, and the chickens love it. They'll sit around while I'm chopping wood, wait for a worm to come flying out, and they'll get over there and peck at it and clean them up. But it kills the forest, kills the lumber. So we got to thin that stuff out. So that's what I'm looking for. Those are the things that I'm taking to add to my fence, because they're already dead, they're already dry. There's going to be a lot less shrinkage going on. I have put some green pieces up on there, and the stuff that is, I don't know if you guys are just in the sun right there, I apologize. The stuff that's green that goes on here will actually shrink, and I'll have to come by and adjust it later, but that's just going to be kind of the evolution of the fence. I'll have to go through, tighten things up, fix things, plug holes, add to, but eventually this thing will be a nice big wall. Alright guys, so some of these big logs like this, they're not going to hold, you know, our 4-inch screw very well. So what we have to do is recess the hole a little bit. So what I've got is just a big bit, and what I'll do is just send it in, you know, close to halfway, if not a little more. And then what that's going to do is allow a pocket to go in there, and then our screw will actually be, instead of holding from here, it'll be inside and it'll be holding halfway through. Good. So we'll move on to the next side, get it screwed into place, and then get that next section cut. You ready? Mm-hmm. Alright guys, that's it for today. Shelby and the kids just got home, so I'm going to go in and check on Shelby's day, see how it went. She had a long day today. We put in a long day on this fence, so I'm going to leave you guys here. I'm going to finish up the rest of this fence tomorrow and then show you guys the final product when we release the pigs out into the pasture. What do you think of my fence?
Awesome.
Kinley thinks it's awesome. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hey, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to get the notification for any newly released videos. Thanks guys.